Black Mirror has never been afraid to focus on the darker sides of humanity. So many of Black Mirror's main characters are monstrous. But this episode of Black Mirror, MAZEY Day, focuses on the most monstrous creature one can imagine. The paparazzi. That's right, this episode of Black Mirror makes us spend time with the paparazzi for like 35 minutes. This is a tight 40-minute episode, and I wished it was at about, let's say 10 minutes. I feel like everything that happens in the first 35 minutes, I understood within one scene of all the paparazzi people. I mean, even just that one scene where that guy's like, "Don't do this, you're gonna ruin my life." And she's like, "I don't really care, I need $300. Sure, great, good for you. And then we meet a bunch of her paparazzi friends. They suck, they really suck. They are over the top and caricature-y, but I guess that's the point. But also, I don't know, I'm not a famous movie star, obviously, so I don't know, maybe that's what it's like. But they're all disgusting, I hate them all, and not in a way where I'm like, ooh, I hope something bad happens to them. I'm just like, I'd rather just not focus on this. You've got 5 episodes, you've waited 4 years, you're gonna make us just spend time with these awful, unlikable, over-the-top, caricature-y paparazzi people. This feels very lazy. It feels like they're trying to force us to hate them so very much. And I do, but I'm also like, I don't care. And then there's a spectacular, amazing twist. And when it was happening, I like kind of missed it at first because I was on my phone. I was playing a game of Clash Royale. You know, a little 3-minute game on my phone, play it all the time. And you know when I play it? When I'm watching something and it sucks. But, you know, I'm still going to just like finish it because I feel obliged to finish it. Well, I'm like, I don't know. There's going to be a twist of some sort because it's Black Mirror. Like every Black Mirror episode this season, it's like, I'm like, there's like a moment where I'm like, okay, but like, what's the thing? And like a good one, I'll be like, oh, I'm loving this. And I can't wait for the thing to be revealed where I'm like, oh, twist, shock, oh, the ending. And this one, I'm like, okay, this twist better be amazing. And it was amazing. Loved it, loved it, loved it. The twist of the werewolf and like this realization she never ran somebody over at all and it was a werewolf, and just the kind of insane hilarity of like looking back and thinking about all the scenes and being like, oh my god, this is a supernatural episode. That's so cool and amazing. I wish I'd cared for like a single second before this moment happened. Like, I'm just thinking of my favorite werewolf movies, like An American Werewolf in London. There's 2 guys, and before any werewolf shenanigans, there's just 2 guys backpacking. And that's almost the best bit. Like, it's not, because of all the werewolf stuff. That movie is so fun, and the characters are so likable, so when the werewolf shows up, you're like, oh my god, no, I don't want this werewolf to kill everyone. Whereas in this episode, I was like, that werewolf killed everybody. That's awesome. And the last shot, where she's like bleeding out, and she's like, pulls the camera up to the main character, and the main character's like, oh, I didn't think I'd have to take photos and exploit people and blah, 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 themes, yeah. And then she takes the photo at the end as MAZEY Day kills herself. And obviously she's not a werewolf anymore, so she's just like this naked girl who went on a drunken rampage, disappeared, and now it'll look like she's murdered everybody, and she's getting this perfect shot, so she'll be a millionaire and all these things. And it's like, I get it. It's not that I don't get it. I'm just saying I don't like it. It's bad. It's not a good episode. And it's like a shame because I love to think about Black Mirror and like, you know, you can kind of be very like simplistic when you're thinking about an episode, even though it's so nuanced and complicated. Like the one where the Prime Minister has sex with a pig. Everything about that episode, for so much of it, is so good, and there are so many different elements and moving parts. But it's like the one where the Prime Minister has sex with a pig. So I love the idea that this is the one where there's a werewolf! But I'll never rewatch it again. I can watch so many different werewolf scenes. Like, they didn't even do like a really impressive werewolf moment. Like, it's good. It's not bad. But it's nothing to like write home about where I'm like, well, I'll just rewatch that scene. So for me, this episode really gave me nothing. Overall, I think this episode kind of fails on kind of all accounts because it's not a completely creature feature werewolf film or episode where you're like, oh, what a good werewolf episode, and kind of playing with the lore. I mean, it plays with the lore in that she gets killed with bullets and not silver bullets. outrageous. 0 out of 10 for that. But it's just like, it's not a werewolf thing properly. It's just like a little kind of twist on the end. And it's not kind of like a biting satirical look at like our obsession with, you know, celebrities and the paparazzi as like, you know, a job, and kind of the way it like is kind of, you know, feeds on itself, and just so many things where I'm like, oh, there could be something there where the paparazzi are hungry like dogs or something, and something, now she's a dog and she bites them back. Or like, I'm stretching. That's nothing. That's literally nothing. I'm just saying words. What I'm trying to get at, I feel like there's no connection between the two. Maybe there is, but yeah, maybe I missed it because I was on my phone because I was so bored. Maybe Charlie Brooker had something to say about all that stuff, but I feel like it got muddled and confused with the werewolf thing. Or maybe just because a werewolf showed up and I went, what the hell? And I had to put my phone down and watch the episode properly. I completely forgot about everything else except that I hated everybody and I'm glad they all died. Except for our main character, because she was different-ish, kind of. I mean, she didn't revel in the photography, but she still did it. So, I mean, there's probably some kind of message there, you know, or theme or something you're meant to kind of grab onto. But for me, something, it was all bite, no bark. All bark, no bite? It doesn't. Who cares? If you're new to the channel, would love you give me a like, subscribe, comment below. I would love to know, what did you think about this episode of Black Mirror?